offering. Offering. Okay, Haribol, let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swapadantikam. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते कुपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतं स्वाकतः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनारित्यन्दस्तो भद्राणि विदुनुति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma supersoul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service under the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, we lost the page.
निसाकर
Yes, Prabhu. In the beginning, there was like Dheeraj Prabhu was one of the only ones who was like hosting things or doing things online because Prahlad Prabhu was telling what to do, and yeah, he was like maintaining everything. So from this, I remember, and many times I thought during these 5 years that like where did you go and like what happened, and like many times I was thinking like where are you this time, and but yeah, I thought someday definitely you would come back because I knew that because you know the philosophy well and you know all those things. You were already more at like in you know you had a lot of knowledge even like 5 years ago. So I knew that there is knowledge and everything eventually that you will join back.
But what is the use of all this knowledge if it's not in practice? If I'm not implementing it, so was all just
Yes, Prabhu.
theoretical kind of thing. Still, it is theoretical. I'm just trying to associate with devotees so that I can get influenced by your spirituality, bhakti, and I can grow. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. But like, I mean, in a way that you have the theoretical knowledge that you can preach it to others in that way, that you don't have to from beginning learn everything. And for you, it might be easier to get to preaching when you already have the like theoretical knowledge and all those things. And yeah, like the first persons who was showing me how to do some service and things like that, I saw from you and Sham Govinda Prabhu and other first Indian devotees. So it left a big mark on my memory. So I'm always thinking like the persons who were in the beginning, who were like shiksha gurus to me. I'm always like remembering those persons very dearly because it was big part, especially for my the beginning in the to get more attached to the devotee association and all these things. Otherwise, I would have still been alone because I remember I was really shy in the beginning. I wouldn't join any sessions, and by seeing all the first devotees do it, then I got more inspired. So that's why I have a like warm spot in my heart for you and all the other who were in the from the beginning in the Hare Krishna League. I remember we were doing the sadhana chart. Yeah, I was sending it to you. It was like my first month in the group.
Yeah,
It was really nice memories.
Jilash Prabhu, are you coming for the morning japa session?
Prabhu, actually, my work is in night shift, so till at night 2
Oh,
or
okay.
3 a.m. here.
Okay.
It's my US company, but I
Mm.
try
Okay,
Prabhu
okay.
in daytime. Yeah, so sorry for that.
No problem, Prabhu. I just ask.
Extremely sorry. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. I remember you were doing some Python thing or something with
Uh,
computers.
can we please like it's book reading session? All devotees have joined, so
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah,
We
let's
can.
not waste devotees' time. Yeah, report.
Yes, Prabhu. We can discuss later. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining. So, who will want to read the first verse? I think Praveen Prabhu is also now back. It's a long one. Gaura Shakti Prabhu or Dheeraj Prabhu, you can also.
Prabhu, you want me to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's a long one.
Yeah, but the purport is
Oh,
short.
okay. Yes, I can. Yeah, I need to go in 20 minutes.
Yes, Prabhu. Is this Brahma Samhita tune or the
Yes,
12?
Prabhu.
It is Brahma
But
Samhita.
yes, it is. There are some. Okay, I can try. It is not really clear. The
Yes, Prabhu, a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
like so. Yecha pralambakalam dal dulakshya klishtam mare bakham sayavanam kapipudraka yaham anye cha salvakutta palvaram dantavaklam saptokshaksamabam sambaram vidulatta lukmi mukvaham Yevamritissamiti sharina hatapchapam kambojamatya kurushlinjaya kai yajam yashantyadal shanam malam balapaltabimam vyajavayenam harina nilayam tadiyam. All those, can you, yeah, all those, cha, totally, pralamba, the demon named Pralamba, Kala, Galda, Vashula, Daldulam, Bakashulam, Keshi, Keshi demon, Alista, the demon, there is some Canto, it's me. I can't see you, the whole thing.
Where is?
This is the demon, right? I just see man, I don't see the D, like, Alistar,
Oh,
for Alistar.
yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's missing.
Oh, yeah. So it's not only me. Okay.
Yes.
Alistar, okay. Malam, a whistler in the court of Kamsa, Iba, Avalat Yapita, Dapida, Kamsa, the king of Mathura, and the maternal uncle of Krishna, Yavana, the kings of Persia and other adjoining places, Kapi, I don't know, Vivida, something, Pondrakam, Adyaham, Pundalaka and the others, Anye others, Cha as such as Shalvam, King Salvam, Kuja, Nalakashulam, Balvalam, King Balvalam, and Tavakla, the brothers of Shishupala, a dead rival of Krishna's, Sapto, Ksha, Sambala, King Sambala, Vidurata, King Vidurata, Rukmi, something, the brothers of Rukmini, the first queen of Krishna, and Adoraka. All those, there is some year, I think this year, something. Va either, Nidde in the battlefield, Samiti Shalinam, all very powerful Attachapa, well equipped with bow and arrows. Kambuja, king of Kambuja, Matsya, the king of Dwarbanga, Kuru, the son of Dhritarashtra, Shlinjaya, king Shlinjayam, Kaikaya, Adya, the king of Kekaya, and others, Yashanti, would attain Adalshanam in person emerging within the Brahmayuti. Alam, what to speak of Bala, Baladeva, the older brother of Krishna, Partha, Arjuna, Bhima, the second Pandava, Vyaja, Ahavayena, by the false names Harina, by Lord Hari, Nilayam, the abode, Tadiyam, of him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Or the many personality like Pralamba, Denuka, Baka, Keshi, Alista, Chalula, Mushtikam, Kuvala, Yapidam, elephant, Kamsa, Yavana, Nalakashula, and Pandraka, and great marshals like Shalva, Dvivida, monkey, and Balvalam, Dantavaklam, the seven bulls, Shambhala, Vidulata, and Rukmi, as also great warriors like Kambuja, Matsya, Kuru, Shlinjaya, and Kekaya, would all fight vigorously, either with the Lord Hari directly or with him under his names of Baladev, Arjuna, Bhima, etc. And the demons, thus being killed, would attain either the impersonal Brahmayoti or his personal abode in the Vaikuntha planets. Purport. All manifestation both in the material and spiritual worlds are demonstration of different potency of Lord Krishna. The personality of Godhead Baladev is his immediate personal expansion, and Bhima, Arjuna, etc. are his personal associates. The Lord would appear, and he does so whenever he appears, with all his associates and potencies. Therefore, the rebellious souls like the demon and demoniac men mentioned by names like Pralamba, etc., would be killed either by the Lord himself or by his associates. All this affair will be clearly explained in the 10th Canto, but we should know well that all should know well. Can you highlight, Prabhu, because this is very hard to. This is not clear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, should know well that all the above-mentioned living entity killed would attain salvation either by being merged in the Brahmayoti of the Lord or being allowed to enter into the abode of Lord called Vaikuntha. This is already explained by Bhishma Deva, first canto. All persons who participate in the battlefield of Kurukshetra or otherwise with the Lord of or with Baladev, etc., would be benefited by attaining spiritual existence. We spoke about that yesterday. According to the situation of the mind at the time of death, those who recognize the Lord would enter Vaikuntha, and those who estimate the Lord as powerful being only would attain salvation by merging into the spiritual existence. Oh, we have more precision about that. Of the impersonal Brahman of the Lord. But every one of them will get released from material existence. Since such is the benefit of those who play with the Lord inimically. One can imagine what would be the position of those who devotedly serve the Lord in transcendental relationship with Him. This is short one, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Now the quality is back.
Oh, okay. So it was just for testing
Yes,
me,
Prabhu.
right?
1 page.
Kalena milita diyam avaritya nilinam stokka shuyam svanigamo bataptula palaham avilitas vanuyugam sahi satvatyam satyavatyam vedadrumam vitapasam vibhajishati smam Kalena, in course of time, militadium of the less intelligent person, avalimsya, considering the difficulties, neinam, of humanity at large, stokash ayusam, of the short-living person, svanigamaha, the Vedic literatures compiled by him, bata, exactly, dula palaham, greatly difficult, avilitaha, having appeared as to but Anuyugam in turn of age, Saha, he, the Lord, he, certainly, Satyavatyam, in the womb of Satyavachi, Vedadrumam, desire tree of Vedas, Vittapashah, by division of branches, Vibhajishyati, would divide, Sma, as it were. Translation: The Lord himself, in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, would consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent person with short life. And thus he would divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to circumstances of particular age. We were having this discussion yesterday. This is crazy. Now we are reading this.
Yes, Prabhu.
Purport. Herein Brahma mentioned the future compilation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for the short-lived person of Kali Yuga. As explained in the first canto, the less intelligent person of the age of Kali would be not only shortly lived, but also perplexed with so many problems of life due to the awkward situation of the godless human society, advancement of material comfort of the body is activity in the mode of ignorance according to the laws of material nature. Real advancement of knowledge means progress of knowledge in self-realization, but in the age of Kali, the less intelligent man mistakenly consider the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years. Yeah. To be all in all, they are less intelligent because they have information of the eternity. They have no information of the eternity of life, and they identify with the temporary material body existing for 40 years and consider it to the only basic principle of life. Such persons are described as equal to the asses and bulls. But the Lord, as the compassionate Father of all living beings, imparting to them the vast Vedic knowledge in short treatises like the Bhagavad Gita and for the graduates, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Purana, and the Mahabharata are also similarly made by Vyasa. Therefore, the different types of men in the mode of material nature, but none of them are independent of the Vedic principles.
Yes, Prabhu. This is really interesting point that in the Kali age, the less intelligent mistakenly consider the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years. So, see, in the modern conversation, anywhere you hear, they talk about the life expectancy has increased so much due to modern medicine and all the surgeries and all this knowledge. So they talk always like this. I've noticed this online. Whenever I scroll something,
Yeah, Prabhu, but
I come
the
by
main
this
thing,
very often.
the main thing is that actually, uh, I have one cousin. She died just a few days ago, and she was only like 50.
Yes, Prabhu.
But
Basically,
So
Prabhu, I can observe here older people live long, Prabhu, because my grandfather he lives like almost 100 years, Prabhu.
Prabhu, same. My grandparents are now 86 or something. Both they are alive.
yeah, so it's not fact. Huh? It's not true.
Yes, Prabhu. But
Actually,
to me, it's interesting how sure they are about it because they are talking about it like evolution type of facts. They say this is like
yeah,
fact and
yeah,
nature. But I'm
because they are too
thinking,
much
yes,
materialistic.
Prabhu. But I'm thinking where they get the observation of that. Because they say there was the
No,
war. They say there was wars, World War II, World War I. That's why all the men died. They say like this, or or
yeah,
sometimes they show picture of the. Sometimes they show picture of the older time people. They see how much older he looks when he was 20 years old than the yacht looks today. This is one of their arguments also.
yeah, but this is not quite accurate actually, because even today there are so much case of cancer,
Yes,
this
Prabhu,
disease that
I
kills
know
so
more
many
that in my life, I know actually more young people dying than old people dying because I
Yes,
know I
Prabhu.
like this. Because in my
The
life,
same
many of
for
the young people has died.
me,
Older
and it's
people they
because of
used to be
intoxication.
very strong also, Prabhu.
What, Prabhu?
Older people was very strong, but nowadays people are very poor in health and everything.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, and it's the lack of connection with Earth. You know, other person they usually farm or they know they have some connection with the Earth.
Yes, Prabhu. Because they
If
didn't
you
have
have
yet the phones and these. Yeah.
yes,
We are like
if
the
you have
first
some strong
generation.
connection with the, if you touch the Earth, if you walk barefoot on the Earth, then your body will be very strong, very healthy. Mm. And usually
Yes,
those
Prabhu.
elder person they will also be on the sun, in the sun, you know, they will be outside. They don't like to stay inside the house, just like this generation or always, you know, watch TV or play
Yes, Prabhu.
games.
When
Mm.
our, when our generation gets old, then we will see the real evidence if which part is right. Because
Yes, Prabhu.
then we can see around if we have many of our friends still alive compared to what it was like before. Because I think not
Bro,
many of our people will.
many of my friends, same generation as me, already died.
Yes, Prabhu.
My Yes, Prabhu, my
I,
grandmother
I'm
had
only
died
41.
previous year, Prabhu. He was at least 90 years, but he never took any medicine or
Mm.
like that, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
this is not the good lifestyle. That's why
Yeah.
uh, this is going on now. The duration of life is shortened.
Yes, Prabhu. I noticed the technology era, it made people life so much faster that it made the aging also, it seems like faster. People live through their life, seems like much faster.
Yes,
Everything is
Prabhu.
fast paced. Also, the kids are now, they are really in a hurry to become adults really early.
Yes,
They start all nonsense from like 10,
Yes,
11 years old because they see this. In
yes,
here,
Prabhu.
they are 12 years old,
More of
gangs, criminal gangs going on. They use here in
more
West. Yes, bro.
more of passion and ignorance is growing, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's very strong actually.
so is it a small one? Also, I can read one more and then I will go.
Yes, bro.
Okay.
So, Prabhu, how many times you have started?
How many what?
What is the time you have? How many words you have read, Prabhu?
Like 2 verses.
Two verses.
Like half an hour ago.
Yeah.
How many what? Oh, once again.
Dve devadvisham nigama vartmani nishtitamam Purbilmayena vihittabiladrishat tulbihim lokam glitnatham lokam gnatham mati vimoham mati pralubham vesham vidaya bahu bhashyatam aupadalmyam Deva Dvisham of those who were envious of devotees of the Lord, Nigama, the Vedas, Valtmani on the path of Nishtitanam of the well situated, Pulbihi by rockets, Mayena made by the great scientist Maya, Vihitabihim made by Adrisya Tulbihim unseen in the sky, Lokan the different planet, Gnatam of the killers, Mati Vimoham bewilderment of the mind, Atiplalaobam very attractive, Vesham dress, Vidayam having done so, Bahu Bashyate would talk very much, Aupadalmyam sub-religious principle, translation when the atheist, after being well-versed in the Vedic science's knowledge, would annihilate inhabitants of different planets flying unseen in the sky on well-built rocket prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord would bewilder their mind by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and would preach a sub-religious principle. This is nice.
Yes,
This is
Prabhu.
good, man. I forgot about this verse.
Yes, Prabhu.
Well,
Yeah, they said would annihilate inhabitants of different planets flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets. So, yes, Prabhu, Maya Devyad, or what is the name? Maya Dana, or what is the name? So they had built already these great machines that now the scientists are trying to imitate, because now their most highest thing that they could make is that they look up is a bomb machine that you cannot detect with radars. So this is what they see as the most advanced.
advance.
Yes, Prabhu.
And this is crazy because this is nothing.
Yes, Prabhu. They have this already. It's not advanced.
Yeah, not at all. Purport. The incarnation of Lord Buddha is not exactly the same Buddha incarnation as we have in the present history of mankind. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appeared in a different Kali age. In the duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kali Yugas. And in one of them, the particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preach common sense religious principle. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle itself, but it is an important quality for persons who are actually religious. It is a common sense religion because one is advised to do no harm to any animals or living being, because such harmful actions are equally harmful to him who does the harm. But before learning this principle of non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent. Yes. This is the thing. And after being non-violent, one has to learn tolerance and simplicity of living. One must offer respect to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders, and also train the senses for controlled action, learning to be unattached to family and home, and enacting devotional service to the Lord, etc. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. Otherwise, there is no religion. In religious principle, there must be God in the center. Otherwise, simply moral instruction are simply sub-religious principle, generally known as Upadharma. Yes, Upadharma. His Grace Prabhu talked about this yesterday.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dharma
and
and Upadharma.
yeah, Praveen Prabhu also mentioned it, I think.
Yes. Or nearness to religious principle.
Yeah, this was nice sentence. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent.
Yeah, we can use it in preaching because
Yes.
actually so many times we need to explain that actually they think that they are doing some philanthropic activity, so they are good.
Yes, Prabhu, and it's nowadays they are proud of the pride. It's so funny.
Yeah,
They are proud of the
yeah,
pride. Because you see also the biggest movement of modern age is the pride movement, if you see in the West. Also like this.
yes.
They are literally their religion is pride. The whole movement symbolizes pride or proudness, and that's their religion, and they really like support it with all they're really proud to be pride. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
so this is the beginning of this Kali Yuga. You know, it will increase those type of
Yes,
madness.
Prabhu.
They will degrade themselves even
And
worse.
see what an oxymoron this is. At the same time, you're trying to unite everyone, under everyone can be as they want and they can be free, but at the same time you're advocating pride. So that means
Yeah,
like violence against everyone. So how you will be
because they
united and proud? How it
because
works?
because they are not intelligent, Prabhu. This is not intelligence.
Yes, bro.
Mm.
Be so.
This is foolishness. Yes, thank you very much. Other can read. I need to go now.
Thank you so much,
Manchakalpataru
bro.
Vyachat, Vasindu
Panchakal
Vyavachapatitanam
Krishna
Bhavanibhyo
Kripa
Vaishnavibhyo Namo
Sunatya
Namaha.
Patitanam Pavane
Thank you for the
Vaishnavite.
opportunity to read. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhu.
Dandavat pranam, bro. Jai.
Okay, who wants to read the next verse?
Can read if no one is there. Haribol.
Haribol, yes, Prabhu.
1 minute of silence. Okay.
Yeah, seems like there is no one.
Okay. Text 38. यर्हावलेशमपि सातं न हरेर्कथास्यो पाषण्डिनो द्विजजना वृषला नृदेवा स्वाहा स्वधा न वसतीति स्मगिरो न यत्र शास्त्रा भविष्यति करेर्भगवान् युगान्ते. Synonyms: Yarhi, when it would so happen. Alayeshu, in the residence of. Api, even. Satam, civilized gentlemen. No, Hare, of the personality of Godhead. Katha, topics. Swayu, would take place. Pashandina, atheists. Dvija Jana, persons declaring themselves to be the higher three classes, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. Vrashalaha, the lower classes, Shudras. Nridevaha, ministers of the government. Swaha, hymns to perform sacrifices. Swadha, the ingredients to perform sacrifices. Vasat, the altar of sacrifice. Iti, all these. Sma, shall. Gira, words. No, never. Yatra, anywhere. Shastra, the chastiser. Bhavishyati, would appear. Kale, of the Kali age. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Yuga, Yugante, at the end of. Translation: Thereafter, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there would exist no topics on the subject of God, even at the residence of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of three higher castes, and when the power of government would be transferred to the hands of ministers elected from the low-born Shudra class, or those less than them, and when there would be nothing known of the techniques of sacrifice even by word, at that time the Lord would appear as the supreme chastiser. Purport by John Prabhupada ki jai. The symptoms of the worst condition of the material world at this stage of this age called Kali Yuga are stated herein. The sum and substance of such conditions is godlessness. Even the so-called saints and higher castes of the social orders, generally known as the Dvijajanas or the twice born, will become atheists. As such, all of them will practically forget even the holy name of the Lord, and what to speak of his activities. The higher caste of society, namely the intelligent class of men guiding the uh, destinies of the social orders, the administrative class of men guiding the law and order of the society, and the productive class of men guiding the economic development of the society, must all be properly well versed in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Knowing factually his name, quality, pastimes, encourage paraphernalia and personalities, the saints and the higher castes of the order of the society are judged by the proportion of knowledge in the science of God or Tattva Jnana, and not by any kind of birthright or bodily designations. Such designations, without any knowledge of the science of God and practical knowledge of devotional service, are considered to be but decorations of the dead bodies. And when there is too much inflation of these decorated dead bodies in society, there developed so many anomalies in the progressive, peaceful life of the human being. Because of the lack of training or culture in the upper section of the social orders, they are no more to be designated as the Dvijajanas or the twice born. The significance of being twice born has been explained in many places in these great literatures, and again one is being reminded herewith that birth executed by the sex life of the father and the mother is called animal birth. But such animal birth and progress of life on the animal principles of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating without any scientific culture of spiritual life is called the Shudra life, or to be ex- explicit, the uncultured life of the lower class of man. It is stated herein that the governmental power of the society in the Kali Yuga would be passed over to the uncultured, godless laborer classes of men, and thus the Nridevas or the ministers of the government would be the Varshalas or the uncultured lower class of society. No one can expect any peace and prosperity in human society full of uncultured lower classes of men. The symptoms of such uncultured social animals are already in vogue, and it is the duty of the leaders of men to take note of it and try to reform the social order by introducing the principles of twice born men trained in the science of God consciousness. This can be done by expanding the culture of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam all over the world. In the degraded condition of the human society, the Lord incarnates as the Kali Avatar and kills the demonic without mercy. Text 39. Sargo tapoham rasayo navaye prajesha sthane tadharma makanmanva amar amaravanisha antve twadharmahara man yuva Sasuradhya Maya Vibhutaimapur Shakali Bhaja. Synonyms: Sarge, in the beginning of the creation; Tapa, penance; Aham, myself; Rishaya, sages; Nava, 9; Ye, Prajesha, those who would generate; Sthane, in the middle while maintaining the creation; Atha, certainly; Dharma, region; Makha, Lord Vishnu; Manu, the father of mankind; Amara, the demigods, deputed to control the affairs of maintenance; Avinasha, and the kings of different planets; Ante, at the end; Tu, but; Adharma is religion; Hara, Lord Shiva; Manuvasa, subjected to anger; Asura Adhya, atheists, the enemies of the devotees; Maya, energy; Vibhutya, powerful representatives; Ima, all of them; Purushakti Bhajan, of the supreme powerful Lord. Translation: At the beginning of creation, there is penance, myself Brahma, the Prajapatis, and great sages who generate. Then, during the maintenance of the creation, there is Lord Vishnu, the demigods with controlling powers, and the king of different planets. But at the end, there is irreligion, and then Lord Shiva and the atheists full of anger, etc. All of them are different representative manifestations of the energy of the supreme power and the Lord. Supreme power, the Lord. Purport: the material world is created by the energy of the Lord, which is manifested in the beginning of the creation by the penance of Brahmaji, the first living being in the creation. And then there are the 9 Prajapatis, known as great sages. In the stage when the creation is maintained, there are devotional service to Lord Vishnu, or the factual religion, the different demigods, and the king of different planets who maintain the world. At last, when the creation is preparing to wind up, there is first the principle of irreligion, then Lord Shiva, along with the atheists, full of anger. But all of them are but different manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, Shiva, are different incarnations of the different modes of material nature. Vishnu is the lord of the mode of goodness, Brahma is the lord of mode of passion, and Shiva is the lord of mode of ignorance. Ultimately, the material creation is but a temporary manifestation meant to give the chance of liberation to the conditioned souls who are entrapped in the material world. And one who develops the mode of goodness under the protection of Lord Vishnu has the greatest chance of being liberated by following the Vaishnava principles and thus being promoted to the kingdom of God, no more to return to this miserable material world. Text 40. विष्णोर्नुवीर्यगणनां कथमो रतिः य पार्थिवान्यपि कविर्विनमन् विममे रजांसि चष्काम्भय स्वरहसास्खतलत्रिपृष्ठं यस्मात्त्रिसम्य सदनाद् उरुकम्प्ययानम्. Synonyms: Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, no, but Virya, prowess, Gananam, in the matter of accounting, Kathamam, who else, Arhati, is able to do it, Iha, in this world, Ya, one who, Parthivani, the atoms, Api, also, Kavi, great scientist, Vimani, might have counted, Rajamsi, particles, Shashkambha, could catch, Ya, one who, Swarasa, by his own leg, Ashkhat, Ashkhatlat, Ashkatatta, without being hampered, Triprishtham, the topmost planetary space, Yasmat, by which Trisamya, the neutral state of three modes, Sadanat, up to that place, Urukampayanam, moving very greatly. Translation: who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientist who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who, in his form of Trivikrama, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature, and all were moved. Is Trivikrama same as Vaman Dev? I think, I don't know.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. But the highest scientific advancement of the material scientists is atomic energy. But the material scientist is not able to have an estimation of the particles of atom contained in the whole of the universe. But even if one is able to count such atomic particles, or is able to roll up the sky like one bedding, even then one is unable to estimate the extent of the prowess and energy of the Supreme Lord. He is known as Trivikram because once in his incarnation of Vamana, he expanded his leg beyond the highest planetary system of Satyaloka and reached the neutral state of the modes of nature called the covering of the material world. There are 7 layers of the material coverings over the material sky, and the Lord could penetrate even those coverings. And with his toe, he made a hole through which the water of the causal ocean filters into the material sky. And the current is known as the sacred Ganges, which purifies the planets of the three worlds. In other words, no one is equal to the transcendently powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent and no one is equal to or greater than him. Na sama urdhva. No one is equal or greater. Text 41. Nantam vidami hamam. Just a minute. नान्तं विदाम्यहममि मुनयोऽग्रजास्ते मायाबलस्य पुरुषस्य कुतो वराये गायन् गुणान् दशशठान् आदिदेव शेषोऽधुनापि समवस् नास्य पारम्. Synonyms: no, never. Antam, end. Vidami, do I know. Aham, myself. Ami, and all those. Munaya, great sages. Agraja, born prior to yourself. Te, you. Maya, balasya, of that omnipotent. Purusasya, of the personality of Godhead. Kutaha, what to speak of others. Avara, born after us. Ye, those. Gayan, by singing. Gunan, the qualities. Dasha Shata Anaha, one who has 10,100 faces. Adi Deva, the first incarnation of the Lord. Sheshaha, known as Sesh. Adhuna, up to date. Api, even. Samavasyati, can achieve. No, not. Asya, of him. Param, limit. Translation: neither myself nor all the sages who were born before you know fully the omnipotent personality of Godhead. So, what can others who are born after us know about him? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Sesha, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 10,100 faces. Purport: the omnipotent personality of Godhead has primarily three potential manifestations, namely internal, external, and marginal potencies, with unlimited expansions of these three energies. As such, the potential expansions can never be calculated by anyone, because even the personality of God himself, as the incarnation of Sesha, could not estimate the potencies, although he has been describing them continually within his 1,000 faces. Text 42. येषां स एष भगवान् दययेद् अनन्त सर्वात्मना श्रितपदो यदि निर्वलीकं ते दुष्टरम् अतितरन्ति च ते मायं नैषां ममाहम् इति स्वगलाभकस्य. Synonyms: येषां, unto those only, saha, the Lord, eshah, the Bhagavan, personality of Godhead, dayayet, does bestow his mercy, ananta, the unlimited potential, sarva atmana, by all means without reservation, ashrita pada, surrendered soul, yadi, if such surrender, nirvalikam, without pretension, te, those only, dushtaram, insurmountable, atitaranti, can overcome, cha, and the paraphernalia, devamayam, diverse energy of the Lord, na, not, esham, of them, mama, mine, aham, myself, iti, thus, the conscious, swa, dog, shrigala, jackals, bhashyate, in the matter of eating. Translation: but anyone who is specifically favored by the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, due to unalloyed surrender onto the service of the Lord, can overcome the insurmountable ocean of illusion and can understand the Lord also. But those who are attached to this body, which is meant to be eaten up by the end by dogs and jackals, cannot do so. Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. The unalloyed devotees of the Lord know the glories of the Lord in the sense that they can understand how great the Lord is and how great his expansion of the diverse energy. Those who are attached to the perishable body can hardly enter into the realm of the science of Godhead. The whole materialistic world, based on the conception of the material body as the self, is ignorant to the science of God. The materialist is always busy working for the welfare of the material body, not only his own but also that of his children, kingsmen, communist men, countrymen, etc. They have many branches of philanthropic and altruistic activities from a political, national, and international angle of vision. But none of the field work can go beyond the jurisdiction of the misconception of identifying the material body with the spirit soul. Unless, therefore, one is saved from the wrong conception of body and the soul, there is no knowledge of Godhead, and unless there is knowledge of Godhead, all advancement of material civilization, however dazzling, should be considered to be failure. Report. If any other devotee wants to read, report.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol, okay, really long one.
Can I try reading the verse? Then others can continue maybe.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Krishna, thank you. Text 45. Vedahamanga paramasya yogamayam यूयं भवश्च भगवान् अथ दैत्यवर्य पत्नी मनो स च मनु स तदात्मजश्च प्राची प्राचीनभिर्भुवङ्ग उत ध्रुवरश्च इक्ष्वाकुर्ऐल मुकुकुन्द विदेहगाधि राघव राघव अमृष सगरगाय नाहुषाधया मान्धार्त्रल मान्धार्त्रल्क शतधन्वनु रन्ति देवाव्रतो बलिरम् अमृत रेवदीलिपा सौ सौभर्युकन्त शिबिदेवलपिप्पला पिप्ललाद सार्वस्यतोधव पराशर भूरिशेना यन्ने विभीषण हनुमधुपेन्द्रदत्त पार्था श्री पार्थाश्रिशेन विधुर श्रुतिदेववर्या. Hare Krishna.
Very bold.
Please
Thank you.
forgive me if there is any mispronunciation. It was very long. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhupada. Veda, know it. Aham, myself. Anga, O Narada. Paramasya, of the Supreme. He certainly. Yogamayam, potency. Yuyam, yourself. Bhavaha, Shiva. Cha, and. Bhagavan, the great demigod. Ata, cha. Ata, as also. Daitavarya, Prahlad Maharaj, the great devotee of the Lord, born in the family of the atheist. Patni, Shatarupa, Manoho of Manu, Sahahi, Cha also, Manuhu, Swayambhuva, Cha and Tat Atmajaha Cha, Tat Atmajaha Cha, and his children like Priyavrita, Uttanapada, Devahuti, etc. Translation. O Narada, although the potencies of the Lord are unknowable and immeasurable, still because we are all surrendered souls, we know how he acts through Yogamaya potencies. And similarly, the all-powerful Shiva, the great king of the atheist family, namely Prahlad Maharaj, Swayambhuva Manu, his wife, Shatarupa, his sons and daughters like Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti, etc. Prachinabarhi, Ribu, Anga, the father of Vena, Maharaj Dhruva, Ikshvaku, Aila, Muchukunda, Maharaj Janaka, Gadi, Raghu, Ambarisha, Sagara, Gaya, Nahusha, Mandata, Alarka, Shatadanu, Anu, Rantideva, Bhishma, Bali, Amurtaraya, Dilipa, Saubari, Tanka, Shibi, Devala, Pippalada, Saraswata, Uddhava, Parasara, Bhurishena, Vibhishana, Hanuman, Shukadev Goswami, Arjuna, Arstishena, Vidura, Shrutadeva, etc. are all also know the potencies of the Lord. Whole list was given. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All the great devotees of the Lord, as mentioned above, who flourished in the past or present, and all devotees of the Lord who will come in the future, are aware of the different potencies of the Lord, along with the potency of His name, quality, pastimes, entourage, personality, etc. And how do they know? Certainly, it is not by mental speculation, nor by any attempt by dint of limited instruments of knowledge. By the limited instruments of knowledge, either senses or the material instruments like microscopes and telescopes, one cannot even fully know the Lord's material potencies, which are manifested before our eyes. For example, there are many millions and billions of planets far, far beyond the scientist's calculation, but these are only the manifestations of the Lord's material energy. What can the scientist hope to know of the spiritual potency of the Lord by such material efforts? Mental speculation, by adding some dozens of ifs and maybes, cannot aid the advancement of knowledge. On the contrary, such mental speculation will only end in despair by dismissing the case abruptly and declaring the non-existence of God. What a perfect explanation this was. On the contrary, such mental speculation will only end in despair by dismissing the case abruptly and declaring the non-existence of God. The sane person, therefore, ceases to speculate on subjects beyond the jurisdiction of his tiny brain, and as a matter of course he tries to learn to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, who alone can lead one to the platform of real knowledge. In the Upanishads, it is clearly said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be known simply by working very hard and taxing the good brain, nor can he be known simply by mental speculation and jugglery of words. The Lord is knowable only by one who is a surrendered soul. Herein Brahmaji, the greatest of all material living beings, acknowledges this truth. Therefore, the fruitless spoiling of energy by pursuing the path of experimental knowledge must be given up. One should gain knowledge by surrendering unto the Lord and by acknowledging the authority of the persons mentioned herein. The Lord is unlimited, and by the grace of the Yoga Maya, helps the surrendered soul to know Him proportionately with the advance of one's surrendering process. Text number 46. Devai vidantati taranti cha deva mayam Stri shudrahuna shabara api papa jiva Yat adbhuta krama parayana shila shikshas Tiryak jana api kimu shruta dharanaye. Such persons, by undoubtedly, Vidanti do know, Atitaranti surpass, Cha also, Deva Mayan, the covering energy of the Lord, Stri such as woman, Shudra, the laborer class of man, Huna, the mountaineers. Oh, that's why they are called mountaineers. And in the Himalayas and all those, the Sherpas, yeah, they are Sherpas. They are the mountaineers. They're usually Philippines and all, like, no, Nepalese, I mean. So they are Hunas. Now I know. Shabara, the Siberians, or those lower than the Shudras. Api, although. Siberians are considered lower than Shudras. Api, although. Papa Jiva, sinful living beings. Yadi, provided. Adbhuta Krama, one whose acts are so wonderful. Parayana, those who are devotees. Shila, behavior. Shiksha, trained up by. Tiryak, jana, even those who are not human beings. Api, also. Kim, what to speak of. Shruta dharanaha, those who have taken to the idea of the Lord by hearing about him. Yeah, those. Translation. Surrendered souls, even from the groups leading sinful lives, such as the woman, the laborer class, the mountaineers, the Siberians, etc., or even the birds and beasts, can also know about the signs of Godhead and become liberated from the clutches of the illusory energy by surrendering unto the pure devotee of the Lord and by following their footsteps in devotional service. Really nice verse. I definitely don't have this in notes. Where it goes. Okay, Haribol. Purport. Sometimes there are inquiries as to how one can surrender unto the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 1866, the Lord asked Arjuna to surrender unto him, and therefore persons unwilling to do so question as to where God is and to whom they should surrender. The answer to such questions or inquiries is given herein very properly. The personality of Godhead may not be present before one's eyes, but if one is sincere in wanting such guidance, the Lord will send a bona fide person who can guide one properly back to home, back to Godhead. Really simple. This is really simple. One sentence answer to someone who says, "Give me evidence of God." What is the evidence? Then they will say, "But I won't believe if God doesn't come himself." But why would he?
But the point to be noted here is, if one is sincere,
Yes, Prabhu.
if you are not sincere, there is no chance that you will get any guidance from the Godhead.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, that's true. So if he's not sincere, then he cannot get the person. And if he cannot get the person, why would he get God himself? First, he must be sincere to even want the person or God.
Right, because God sees your heart, okay, your sincerity in your heart, and then He will guide another devotee, or maybe his in the form of guru, spiritual master, and ask him to reach out to this person who is constantly uh, thinking about some kind of guidance. Okay,
Yes, Prabhu.
then you will get the actual knowledge from that person, what to do and what not to do.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is right. There is no need of material qualifications for making progress in the path of spiritual realization. In the material world, when one accepts some particular type of service, he is required to possess some particular type of qualification also. Without this, one is unfit for such service. But in the devotional service of the Lord, the only qualification required is surrender. Surrendering oneself is in one's own hand. If one likes, he can surrender immediately without any delay, and that begins his spiritual life. The bona fide representative of God is as good as God himself, or in other words, the loving representative of the Lord is more kind and more easy to approach. A sinful soul cannot approach the Lord directly, but such a sinful man can very easily approach a pure devotee of the Lord. And if one agrees to put himself under the guidance of such a devotee of the Lord, he can also understand the signs of God and can also become like the transcendental pure devotee of the Lord, and thus get his liberation back to Godhead, back to home for eternal happiness. So realization of the signs of Godhead and relief from the unnecessary, useless struggle for existence are not at all difficult for the willing candidate, but they are very difficult for persons who are not surrendered souls, but only simple, profitless speculators. Yeah, Prabhupada answers perfectly. Oh, text number 47. Sasvad prasantama bayam pratibod
Is it
bodhama.
48? 48 or 47?
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, I was wondering why it's like long like this. Is it 40? No, it's just 47. It's just long. Shuddham samam sadasata paramatma tattvam shabdo nayatra purukara kavan kriyarto maya parata bimukhe chavilachamana tadvai padam bhagavatah paramasya pumso brahmeti yadvidurajasra sukham vishokam. Shashvat, eternal, prashantam, without disturbance, abhayam, without fear, pratibodha matram, a consciousness opposed to the material counterpart, shuddham, uncontaminated, samam, without distinction, sat asata, of the cause and effect, paramatma tattvam, the principle of primeval cause, shabda, speculative sound, na natyatra, where there is, purukara kavar, or resulting in fruitive action, kriya artha, for the matter of sacrifice, maya, illusion, paraiti, flies away, abhimukhe, in front of, cha, also, vilajamano, being ashamed of, that, why, is, certainly, padam, ultimate face, Bhagavata, of the personality of Godhead, Paramasya, of the supreme, Pumsa, of the person, Brahma, the absolute, Iti, thus, yat, which we do known as Ajasra, unlimited, Sukham, happiness, Vishokam, without grief. Translation. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. That is certainly the ultimate phase of the Supreme Enjoyer, the personality of Godhead. He is eternally void of all disturbances, without any fear, complete consciousness as opposed to matter, uncontaminated, without any distinction, the principal primeval cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand. Purport. The Supreme Enjoyer, personality of Godhead, is the Supreme Brahman or the Summum Bonum because of his being the supreme cause of all causes. The conception of impersonal Brahman realization is the first step due to his distinction from the illusory conception of material existence. In other words, impersonal Brahman is a feature of the Absolute distinct from the material variegatedness. Just as light is a conception distinct from its counterpart, darkness. Yes, Prabhu, this is really interesting also because light itself, when it's taken as one, as impersonal thing, it is like white. But when you separate the light, you can find all the colors inside the white light. So there's like personal aspect also in the impersonal whiteness. But the light has its variegatedness, which is seen by those who further advance in the light. And thus the ultimate realization of Brahman is the source of the Brahman light, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum, or the ultimate source of everything. Therefore, meeting the personality of Godhead includes the realization of the impersonal Brahman as realized at first in contrast with material inebriety. The personality of Godhead is the third step of Brahman realization. As explained in the first canto, one must understand all three features of the absolute Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Pratibodha Matram is just the opposite conception of material existence. In matter, there are material miseries, and thus in the first realization of Brahman, there is the negation of such material inebrities and feeling of eternal existence distinct from the pangs of birth and death, disease and old age. That is the primary conception of impersonal Brahman. The Supreme Lord is the supreme soul of everything, and therefore in the supreme conception, affection is realized. The conception of affection is due to the relationship of soul to soul. So this is when one sees the Paramatma, super soul in everyone. He becomes affectionate because he sees Krishna in everyone. A father is affectionate to his son because there is some relationship of nearness between the son and the father. But that sort of affection in the material world is full of inebriety. So what is the definition of this? Inebriety, drunkenness, especially habitual intoxication. When the personality of Godhead is met, the fullness of affection becomes manifested because of the reality of the affectionate relationship. He is not the object of affection by material tinges of body and mind, but he is the full, naked, uncontaminated object of affection for all living entities, because he is the super soul or Paramatma within everyone's heart. In the liberated state of affairs, the full-fledged affection of the Lord is awakened. As such, there is an unlimited flow of happiness, everlasting, without any fear of being broken, as we have experienced here in the material world. The relationship with the Lord is never broken, thus there is no grief and no fear. Such happiness is inexplicable by words, and there can be no attempt to generate such happiness by fruitive activities, by arrangement and sacrifices. But we must know also that happiness, unbroken happiness, exchanged with the Supreme Person, the personality of Godhead, as described in this verse, transcends the impersonal conception of the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, the description is more or less negation of the material conception of things, but this is not denial of the transcendental senses of the Supreme Lord. Herein also the same is affirmed in the statements about the material elements. They are all the transcendental, free from all contamination of material identification, and also the liberated souls are not devoid of senses. Otherwise, there cannot be any reciprocation of unhampered spiritual happiness exchanged between them in spontaneous, unbroken joy. All the senses both of the Lord and of the devotees are without any material contamination. They are so because they are beyond the material cause and effects, as it is clearly mentioned here in Sat Asatah Param. The illusory material energy cannot work there, being ashamed before the Lord and his transcendental devotees. In the material world, the sense activities are not without grief, but here it is clearly said that the senses of the Lord and the devotees are without any grief. There is a distinct difference between the material and spiritual senses, and it should be understood without denying the spiritual senses because of a material conception. The senses in the material world are charged with material ignorance. In every way, the authorities have recommended purification of the senses from the material conception. In the material world, the senses are manipulated for individual and personal satisfaction, whereas in the spiritual world, the senses are properly used for the purpose for which they were originally meant, namely the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Such sensual activities are natural, and therefore sense gratification there is uninterrupted and unbroken by material contamination because the senses are spiritually purified. And such satisfaction of the senses is equally shared by the transcendental reciprocators. Since the activities are unlimited and constantly increasing, there is no scope for material attempts or artificial arrangements. Such happiness or transcendental quality is called Brahma Saukyam, which will be clearly described in the 5th canto. Prabhu. Praveen Prabhu, do you want to read a verse? Maybe two?
Sure.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, two verses. Then we go Damodarashtakam.
Yeah. Sadriyan niyamya yatayo yamakarta hetim yahyuh swarad iva nipana khanitram indriyaha. Okay, this 48 verse is broken into two pieces. Okay, the first half is attached to the 47th verse, and the second half is treated as the new verse with the number 48.
Prabhu, I didn't hear the beginning. Something happened to my audio. So what about the verses?
See
Is there?
here, see this particular 48th verse has got only two lines. Okay, generally with this grammar, okay, you should have four lines. Okay, so that means the top two lines are attached to the 47th verse. That's why you have got 6 lines in 47.
Yeah, sometimes it goes like that. Here
No,
also.
the thing is, in fact, the reason could be the 47th verse. The meaning of the 47th verse would not be full without the extra two lines from the next verse. That's why, so all those all those 6 lines have been clubbed together, okay, and given a number 47.
Yes, bro.
Okay. Synonyms. Sadriyan, artificial mental speculation or meditation. Niyamya, controlling. Yatayaha, the mystics. Yamakarta hetim, the process of spiritual culture. Jahyuh, or given up. Swarat, fully independent. Iva, as. Nipana, well. Kanitram, trouble for digging. Indriyaha, the controlling, Indraha, the controlling demigod supplying rains. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In such a transcendental state, there is no need of artificial control of the mind, mental speculation, or meditation, as performed by the jnanis and yogis. Such processes are given up as the heavenly king Indra does not take the trouble to dig a well. Purport. A poor man in want of water digs a well and undertakes the trouble of digging. Similarly, those who are poor in transcendental realization speculate on the mind or meditate by controlling the senses. But they don't know that such control of the senses and achievement of spiritual perfection are simultaneously made possible as soon as one is factually engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Person, the personality of Godhead. It is for this reason that the great liberated souls also desire to be associated in hearing and chanting the activities of the Lord. The example of Indra is very appropriate in this connection. King Indra of heaven is the controlling deity or demigod for arranging clouds and supplying rains in the universe, and as such, he does not have to take the trouble to dig a well for his personal water supply. For him, digging a well for a water supply is simply ludicrous. Similarly, those who are factually engaged in the loving service of the Lord have attained the ultimate goal of life, and for them, there is no need of mental speculation to find out the true nature of God or His activities, nor do such devotees have to meditate upon the imaginary or real identity of the Lord. Because they are factually engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord's pure devotees have already achieved the results of mental speculation and meditation. The real perfection of life is therefore to be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Okay, final verse.
Text 49. तस्रेयशामपि विभुर्भगवान् यतोऽस्य भावा स्वभाव विहितस्य सतः प्रसिद्धिः देहे स्वधातु विगमेनु विरिष्यमाणे माने व्योमेव तत्र पुरुषो न विशीर्यते जः. Synonyms: saha, he, Shreyasam, all auspiciousness, Api, also, Vibhuhu, the Master, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Yataha, because, Asya, of the living entity, Bhava, natural modes, Swabhava, own constitution, Vihitasya, performances, Sataha, all good work, Prasiddhi, ultimate success, dehe, of the body, swadhatu, forming elements, vigame, being vanquished, anu, after, vishiryamane, having given up, vyoma, sky, iva, like, tatra, thereupon, Purushaha, the ultimate, the living entity, na, never, Vishiryate, becomes vanquished, Ajaha, due to being unborn. Translation: the personality of Godhead is the supreme master of everything auspicious because the results of whatever actions are performed by the living being, either in the material or spiritual existence, are awarded by the Lord. As such, He is the ultimate benefactor. Every individual living entity is unborn, and therefore, even after the annihilation of the material elementary body, the living entity exists exactly like the air within the body. Purport: the living entity is unborn and eternal, and as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2:30, the living entity is not exhausted, even though the material elementary body is vanquished. As long as the living entity is in the material existence, actions performed by him are rewarded in the next life or even in the present life. Similarly, in his spiritual life, also, actions are rewarded by the Lord by the five kinds of liberation. Even the impersonalist cannot achieve the desired merging into the existence of the Supreme without being favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavad Gita 4:11, that the Lord awards similar results as one desires in one's present life. The living entities are given freedom to make their choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. It is the duty of everyone, therefore, to worship devotedly only the personality of Godhead to achieve his desired goal. The impersonalist, instead of speculating or meditating, can directly execute the routine devotional service of the Lord and thus easily obtain the desired goal. The devotees, however, are naturally inclined to become associates of the Lord without being merged in the spiritual existence as conceived by the impersonalists. The devotees, therefore, following their constitutional instincts, achieve the desired goal of becoming servitors, friends, fathers, mothers, or conjugal lovers of the Lord. The devotional service of the Lord involves 9 transcendental processes of hearing and chanting, etc. And by performing such easy and natural devotional services, the devotees achieve the highest perfectional results, far, far superior to merging into the existence of the Brahman. The devotees are therefore never advised to indulge in speculating upon the nature of the Supreme or artificially meditating on the void. One should not, however, misunderstand that after the annihilation of this present body, there is no body by which one can associate with the Lord face to face. The living entity is unborn. It is not that he is manifest with the creation of the material body. On the other hand, can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah, on the other hand, it is true that the material body develops only by the desire of the living entity. The evolution of the material body is due to such desires of the living being. According to the desires of the living being, the material body develops. So, from the spiritual soul, the material body comes into existence generated from the living force. As the living being is eternal, so he exists just like the air within the body. Air is within and without the body. Therefore, when the external covering, the material body, is vanquished, the living spark, like the air within the body, continues to exist. And by the direction of the Lord, because he is the ultimate benefactor, the living entity is at once awarded the necessary spiritual body befitting his association with the Lord in the manner of Sarupya, equal bodily feature, Salokya, equal facility to live in the same planet with the Lord. Sarshti, equal position of opulence like the Lord. And Samipya, equal association with the Lord. Only 4 forms are given here. In fact, it's clearly mentioned that there are 5 forms above. Can you check it out?
I think the Sayujya Mukti is missing.
Yes, it's missing. 1 second. I have saved it somewhere.
Sayujya means merging in the Brahma
Yeah,
Jyoti.
Sayujya, merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, losing individual identity. Yes. Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Sayujya. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, I think because in that merging you don't get a spiritual body. So this is only those that have spiritual body. Is it like that?
Yeah, still it is one of the liberation types.
Yes, Prabhu, but it's not a liberation type with a spiritual body. Because when you get impersonal liberated, you're not awarded with the spiritual body. I think so. You just merge with the light.
Yeah, you may be right. Yes, because here this is called merging. Okay, so when you are merged into some effulgence, Brahman effulgence, you don't require a body.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
And when
Yeah,
they want the body again, then they fall down.
yeah, it makes sense. Yes, it absolutely makes sense. Yes. Okay, let us continue. The Lord is so kind that even if a devotee of the Lord cannot fulfill the complete course of devotional service, unalloyed and uncontaminated by material association, he is given another chance in the next life by being awarded a birth in the family of a devotee or rich man, so that without being engaged in the struggle for material existence, the devotee can finish the remaining purification of his existence, and thus immediately after relinquishing the present body go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes. What is that line? Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brishto Vijayate. That is the meaning, okay? You will be given a birth in the family of a devotee or rich man. Okay, Suchinam Srimatam. Srimatam means rich man. Gehe in the family. Gehe in the house. Yoga Brishto Vinayate. Okay. One who has not completed his stipulated course of devotional service in his in his current life, then he will be given another opportunity by taking birth in a family of a devotee or a rich man, so that he does not need to struggle finding food. Okay, and he can utilize his all of his time in the devotional service of the Lord.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. In this connection, detailed information is available in the Bhagavata Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Once achieving the spiritual existence, the devotee is eternally situated here, as already discussed in the previous verse. Okay, can you check whether text 50 is the last verse of this chapter, or do you have any more verses as well?
Oh.
Total 53 or 4 maybe.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, we'll finish it tomorrow because it's almost 9 p.m. and we need to read the Damodarashtakam.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Wait, was it 50? Yeah.
Yes. नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानं यशोदाभियोलुकलाब्धवमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या
रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्मं ऋजन्तं करं भोजयुग्मेन सतङ्कनेत्रं मुहुश्वासकम्पात्रिरेखाङ्ककन्ता स्थिताग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिपदम्
इति दृक्स्वलीलाब्धिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमाख्यापयन्तं तदीहेषितग्नेषु भक्तेर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सता वृत्तिवन्दे
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषदपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्यामि राष्ट्रमभिमन्युम्
इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलैर्हृतं कुन्तलैस्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्या विरास्ताम् अलं लक्षलाभैः
नमो देवदामोदरनन्दविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानुगृहाणे क्षमामग्नं यदाक्षिदृश्य
कुबेरात्मजो बद्धमूर्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेमभक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह
नमस्तेऽस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरक्तीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोधराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमोऽनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
Haribol. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that is his mother's, was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed, to that Supreme Lord Sri Damodara for my humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, and I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord,
Oh,
although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the nine processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tingled with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor, ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Kuvera, Manikriva and Nalakuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliant effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Sri Damodarashtakam ki jai,
Jai.
Chakrapat ki jai.
Jai.
Cheto Darpanamarjanam. Oh, 1 second. Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamahadavagninirvapanam Shreyah Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तेश तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशम् इह जनि नानुरागः
ऋणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुनाम् अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरि
तदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूळि सदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निशितं वपु कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां विनष्टु माम् अदर्शनं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribol, Shri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Haribol. Pretzel Prabhu, what is this crazy thing? Bahujan Bahujanma Kareya Dishravana Kirtan, Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Seventh,
No,
to commit it.
Sixth.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Oh, sorry. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Ninth, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense is not to have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the ultimate goal, Krishna Prema.
Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desired trees, and they're full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubevacha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namaha.
Namaha.
And the Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai.